This video is a response to a question I got about plantar fasciitis. I myself have plantar fasciitis, and the best thing that's worked for worked for me is arch supports. I've had those for the last 6 months now, and it's helped me immensely. Also, what people will use is like an old Coke bottle. It sounds weird, but those glass ones with the ridges, or a golf ball. They'll put it on the floor and they'll just roll it back and forth to help with that area. Because sometimes the problem with plantar fasciitis, it's inflammation in the fascia in the foot region. So you want to kind of break up that scar tissue area as much as possible. Another technique what I'll use, I'll just demonstrate with my hand, is on the plantar side of the foot, you'll compress an area, and then you'll stretch out the toes, so you extend the toes. And you can even make a massage technique going down to kind of strip the muscles then. So at a longitude friction. And then you can also perform cross fiber friction and extend the toes too in those areas. And if you want, you don't have to extend the toes, you can, or not with the movements, you can just compress an area and just extend. So compress and extend, compress, extend. So again, you don't have to go down and stretch that area out. And another thing that works great for me is a snake bite on the foot. So what I'll do is I'll compress, grab the foot and make a snake bite, and then just kind of hold that area. So it's a form of stretching for that, for plantar fasciitis. And one thing you probably don't want to do is use depultment with your knuckle on the calcaneus region, or just superior to that area. So with people with plantar fasciitis, a lot of times they'll send up a shooting pain up the leg if you have plantar fasciitis then. So again, we can't diagnose, but that's a good indication that they have some kind of foot problems. And with the client, you might want to have them just stand up and do a little posture evaluation of their foot. See if one arch is a little bit higher than the other one, or if their leg is externally rotated more than the other. But it works out great if you can find out the problems before you even touch the client then. And a lot of times the clients are actually shocked too. And some people will take pictures before and after the treatments, like in Ralphing or myofascial release. So they'll get those areas and show proof to the client that yes, you are getting better in these areas. So the more proof you can give the client, the better. So again, plantar fasciitis, contraction in the fascia of the foot to the plantar side. Also, some people can develop palmar fasciitis too. And with those kind of techniques too, you can extend and go down your palm and extend and bring it out like this, or just extend, hold an area, and stretch it out. And if it's very inflamed that day, I myself prefer to give stretching. I think it works out a lot better than actual massage. So with it inflamed, ways to tell if they're inflamed is if it's a heat or if it's red. Those are big indications, or swelling too. So those three indications is try to stay away from it from actual massage. And just like with somebody, if they have arthritis and it's really aggravated that day, you probably want to stay away from it, and stretching is probably a better idea for them. So if you believe in these comments, that's fine. If you don't, please leave comments below and give your recommendations for plantar fasciitis. So again, there's many different kind of recommendations, treatments. Some people even do a contrast method, like a hot for 5 or 10 minutes and then a cold for 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes that helps defer the pain, the nerve pain then for plantar fasciitis. And topical ointments like a little bit of biofreeze, tiger balm, those kind of things can help relieve it for the meantime. But again, my recommendation is you have to get a better arch support usually, and then that usually works out a lot better. But just make sure you go to a specialist to make sure you get the right size, because I've heard of people that get the wrong arch support and it can even affect all the way up to your leg. So one of my clients in the past, she got a wrong recommendation from a doctor, and she had to have hip surgery just because of that then. So again, make sure once you have the arch support, just break it into really slow, so maybe a few hours a day for the first few days and gradually work your way up. But if you're still still having pain after a few weeks, contact your doctor and see if there's anything else you can do for that then. And I know some people have used cortisone shots. I don't recommend that, but again, whatever your doctor says and whatever your belief is, go by that more than what I actually think then. And thank you very much.